Hey everyone! Today we're going to talk a little bit about our downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. We'll chat about ways to A, make it more comfortable for you as you're moving through your practice, and B, little tips to make it more sustainable to support our longevity as we continue to practice yoga. So let's start with a block in Virasana, Hero's Pose. I like to take one block. You might take two if you have longer legs or if your feet tend to lose sensation if you're in this pose. Heels will hug the block, knees together. Allow your hands to rest on your thighs. And then take a few moments here to observe how you're sitting, where you're sitting. Are you leaning forward? Are you leaning back? Or are you right at center? And just notice. Now, most of us tend to be somewhere like here naturally. Like if we're just sitting naturally, not even trying, we'll be back on the tailbone a little bit. And the pelvis has this kind of tuck. Now, let's take our pointer and middle fingers on each hand and then our thumb. You're going to take the first two fingers to the front of the hip crease and the thumbs to the sacrum, the lower back. And you're making this motion. You're going to use your hands to manipulate your pelvis, your ground floor. So go ahead and begin to tilt your pelvis forward. You'll feel your sits bones stick out behind you, your chest lifts, and then doing the opposite, tilt your pelvis back. Feel everything tuck under. Feel how that shortens the spine and adds this curve. And then do that a few more times. Now, as you're going forward and back, you can imagine that your pelvis is a bowl of water. I know you've probably heard that so many times, that same metaphor, but let's go with it because it works. So as you're tilting forward, that water is spilling out in front of you, and as you're tilting back, the water is spilling out from behind you. So as you're coming forward, the hip crease is finding more of an acute angle, and that's what we're going to eventually want in our downward facing dog. So begin to focus on your hip crease. Coming forward, it's shortening. Coming back, it's opening up. So taking this a few more times, getting everything moving. And then once you feel like you've done what you need to do there, I think we've done this for long enough, we're going to move the block and then send the legs out long in front of us. Now, this is a trickier pose. A lot of us have tighter hamstrings, a tight lower back. So when we extend the legs out long and straight, a lot of us naturally are back here, and that's okay. So what we're going to do here, let's stay here for a moment. This is what we don't want to do in our downward facing dog, right? But I just want to chat about something. Legs are straight. We can't quite sit up and forward and find that length just yet, but we'll do a little experiment here. So we're back here. I want you all to raise your arms and then twist to the right for me and just see how much range you have. A few breaths here. Maybe trying to look over that shoulder if you can. And then we'll switch. Stay back. Stay in this position. What we don't want, it's just, again, a little test. You'll see why I'm making you do this in a moment. And then bring yourself back to center. Go ahead and dig your heels into the mat. Let your knees bend. And then see if it's a little bit easier to shift forward. So same pelvic tilt, just bringing yourself forward. You can even try this with your hands behind your thighs, pulling against the thighs, using the strength of your arms to lengthen out and up out of the pelvis. Now we're going to twist again, inhaling the arms rising up. And exhale, we open up and twist, and we should have so much more range here. Now I can see behind me. The spine is nice and straight, and then just bring it to the other side for good measure. So my point with this is, when we bend our knees, we're able to lengthen through the lower spine and just find so much more space. And sometimes when the legs are straight, we lose that. And that's why we bend our knees in downward facing dog. It is a myth that your legs have to be straight in downward facing dog. If you bend your knees, you'll be able to find that forward pelvic tilt and your spine will be so long. I promise we're gonna get to our down dog in a moment. One more thing, focusing on the upper body. So extend your arms out in front of you, straight out, palms down, and I want you to depress the shoulders, so press them down. And then see if you can lift your arms up. They won't go too far. So we're gonna bring them back down, and from here, I want you to elevate your shoulders. So bringing them up, and then extending your arms up. See how much more space you can have here with those elevated shoulders. So that's the other piece to think about. So we're gonna get into our downward facing dog. Let's begin in a forward fold, maybe taking those two blocks in front of you for a moment. Feet about hip width apart. The blocks are slightly forward. I'm looking forward, and as I inhale, I'm gonna find that pelvic tilt forwards. And as I exhale, I'm gonna find the opposite pelvic tilt, bringing it back, dropping the head, looking in, so curving my spine. Taking that a few more times. Breathing through this, knowing that the spine and the head and all of that, they're only moving by virtue of the pelvis moving. Now stay with that forward pelvic tilt. You can think of your cow spine, look forward, keep your knees bent. And then I'm gonna try to maintain this pelvic tilt as I walk forward, finding my downward facing dog. I'm beginning to feel the balls of my feet into the mat, so my heels are lifted. Keep tilting the pelvis forward, and then that last piece of elevating the shoulders. You might even try depressing and elevating the shoulders like so a few times, just feeling that difference. Now, eventually, once you practice your downward facing dog with elevated shoulders, you'll begin to feel so light that you're able to pick one hand up and the other. You'll be able to tent up through the fingertips and hold that downward facing dog. It's all in the legs. It's all about that hip crease. And from here, melting down through the knees, coming back to a seat. So I hope that video was helpful. Definitely try it out. Let me know how you did, and I will see you next time.